What is up, guys? It is Anpu. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you are having a great week. But before we get into this video, we need to do something really quickly. I'll be right back. Yeah, let's get some of that crusty London water out of there. You know, whilst I was drinking the tea, you were probably thinking, what or how is this Indian guy going to teach me how to do a British accent?
Please mind the gap between the train and the platform.
Before we go straight into this video, I wanted to let you know that you guys have loved my Indian accent in my previous videos. And I wanted to say thank you very much for watching these videos. And why I speak in the Indian accent is because I feel like there is a very big stigma against people speaking in the Indian accent. You know, why is the British accent considered better than the Indian accent? If you think about it, the grammar and everything I am using is exactly the same as any other person, you know, and I'm not saying anything incorrectly, and I'm not forming my sentences in a different way. I am just pronouncing the words differently. So why is it that suddenly I am, judged for my accent? What makes you think that a British accent is better than an Indian one? So if I talk to you in this accent, suddenly you have a different opinion of me than when I talk in this accent. That is what I want to tackle in my videos. You know, I very much believe that you should love your identity. You know, these videos are in a playlist on my channel called Love Your Identity. Your background, your ethnicity, your religion, your sexuality, your gender, your accent shouldn't determine how people view you. Everyone is equal. And it really jars me when people with a different accent, such as an Indian one, are looked down upon. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent from the topic of this video. This video is how to speak in a British accent. The point of me actually talking in an Indian accent at the start of this video is because I wanted you to think what went through your head when you saw me and then I started talking in an Indian accent. I mean, you're behind the screen. I'm not going to hear what you're going to say, but just answer that question. Did you judge me because of my Indian accent? And then did your judgment of me change when I switched to the British accent? I'll let you dwell on that. Anyway, seriousness over, let's get straight into this video. First sound that I want you to kind of listen out for is the R sound, okay? When people want to pronounce a British word, the number one word they go for, I swear, is water, okay? So we are going to break this word down into the different sounds. So you got water. So, you know, in the Indian accent, it is pronounced water. In the American accent, it's pronounced water. We're going to start off with the R. So the R, British people don't actually pronounce the R as heavily or as strong as other accents. So for example, in the American accent, you guys really go like water, water. Let's take another word, daughter. So like daughter. Sorry, I don't even know if I'm doing the American accent properly. Don't judge me on my American accent. I'm teaching you the British accent, or in the Indian accent, it'll be daughter. So in other accents, the R is rolled. In the British accent, we don't do that. So we actually pronounce water as water, water, daughter, brother, mother, not mother or brother or mother. You know how I'm rolling the R at the end of mother? No, mother, it just ends in the sound, mother. Take another word. Notice the R in wardrobe. Harry Potter, Harry Potter. Proper, that's proper good. Proper, not proper, proper. Let's take those words that we just did and let's focus on the T sound now. So we've got water. This is where there's two types of approaches that you can take. The one is really heavily pronouncing the T. So if you do want to sound well spoken, then you would pronounce the T heavily. For example, could I get some water? Thank you. Water. Daughter. Later. Let's take a time, for example, it's on the screen now. In the Indian accent, it'll be 3:30. In the American accent, it'll be 3:30. And in the British accent, it'll be 3:30. 30. Notice how I really pronounce the T there, 30. Right, that's the first approach. The second approach is actually dropping the T completely. So it's the polar opposite. Let's take the time again. So there's something called a glottal stop, okay? Now the glottal stop is basically where you drop the T completely. 3:30. 3:30. I caught my train at 3:30. At 3:30. So I don't say at 3:30. I say at 3:30. So at a normal pace it would be, I caught my train at 3:30. Let's do the words that we mentioned before and let's drop the T's. So for example, daughter, mother, brother, better. Are you feeling better? I know you were ill yesterday. Are you feeling better? Harry Potter. And finally, water. A lot of people struggle with this. Water. So you kind of stop. You kind of like, you pause and then you continue on the word. So, but it's not a long pause. It's water. 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 This pronunciation is an extremely lazy pronunciation of the word water, but people do get lazy when they're pronouncing words, and sometimes that's just how it turns out. So, can you pass me some water? Water. Butter. That's another one. Instead of butter, I know Americans, you guys pronounce it butter, or like butter. Sorry if my pronunciation is awful, but in the British accent it's butter or butter. Look guys, before you start getting really angry at me, I am aware that in Britain there is such a big variety of accents, and the London accent is just one of them, and even within London there's so many accents. Like I'm from South London and people have told me that my accent is very much a South London accent. Before you comment on my videos being like, oh no, not everyone in Britain sounds like that, you know, people up north sound different. Yeah, I know people up north sound different. Anyway, let's cover some really common phrases that we use in Britain or here in London. Hey, you right? How you doing? That's a really friendly way to approach someone. I remember like when I actually met my Canadian cousins for the first time, I was like, oh, you right? And they just looked at me and they were like, what? You right? How you doing? They're like, you right? Like, what? So you right? And they were so confused. And I was like, how are you? And they're like, oh, I said, how are you? And then that's when they understood me. You right? You all right? Basically means, how are you? You alright? And I'm doing that glottal stop thing at the end that I talked about. I'm just dropping the T at the end, so, you alright? I'll see you later, or, I'll see you later. Thank you. Cheers. Morning. So that's another friendly way of saying good morning. So just like, morning. Bloody hell. Fair enough. This one I use a lot. I do like using this one. If you're going to agree with someone, then you might just say, yeah, fair enough. Or like, if you just got nothing more to add to the conversation, it's like, oh, fair enough. Guys, that concludes this part of my tutorial on how to do a British accent. Yeah, in terms of like linking into what I was saying earlier, if I think all accents are equal and everyone should love their identity and not change their accent, why am I teaching people the British accent? Like, it doesn't make sense. I guess my response to that would be, perhaps you've got an acting role in which you need to learn the British accent. Perhaps you've got an interview and you just want to make sure that you're pronouncing your words and to make sure that you're understood. Perhaps you're moving to London and you just want to sound like a Londoner. Or maybe you're just curious, like me, and really interested in linguistics. But yeah, there's a whole host of reasons why you guys might be wanting to learn the British accent, and I hope this video helped. Make sure you've hit that subscribe button because I make weekly videos on London life, uni life, and travelling as well. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye!